Everybody, what's going on? Hi, guys. How are you? Love you. And I just wanted to come on and see how you guys are doing, how your week was. A lot of interesting questions, and one that I didn't get to today. So the new video came out today. Sorry it took so long. That was done on Sunday, but as you know, my guy, he's kind of busy too, doing his own things. So I hope that video that I did about the difference between why somebody has a dark NDE and why someone like me had the most profound and beautiful NDE, right? So, but there was another question. He was almost frantic or desperate. I didn't catch his name. I didn't see it. I was at work and I was busy. On why I have died over 3,200 times. So I guess I can get into that a little bit before the questions start rolling in. So how did I find out that I died over 3,200 times? So I do believe it was last year or 2 years ago, something like that. I can't remember. So much has happened. But it was during my second out-of-body experience that I had a profound one sitting right here on this couch. And it was the night Damar Hamlin died on the football field. And I saw the hit, and I saw him take 2 steps and collapse dead. And then I leaned back on the couch right here, and I was gone. I was in this most magnificent, beautiful place, right? And it was beautiful. I mean, it was like Star Wars. There was 2 suns kind of overlapping. There was a figure walking towards me, a lightish figure. There was a beach with rolling waves coming in, and it was, again, the feeling of I've been here before, you know? And I felt a very strong presence off to my right. And I said, "Who are you?" And he said, "My name is Jeffrey. I've always been with you." And I started to chuckle a little bit. I said, "Jeffrey." I said, "Man," I said, "I can't call you Jeffrey. That's the Toys R Us giraffe, right?" And I had a good chuckle for a minute. And this figure is getting closer, this light figure. And I was just in absolute serene and peace. You know, the ego was gone. Fear and guilt, or, you know, fear and guilt were gone, all 3. And I was just at peace. I was home. And I said, "Jeffrey, how many times have I been here? How many times have I died?" And this is to the person that asked me how many times, how this happened. And he said, the number was instant. It was just an instant. It was over 3,200. And I said, "I've died over 3,200 times. You know, and this, again, this is taking place telepathically. And it was an instant response of yes." He said, "You're ancient." And I'm like, "Guru 2, hi, how are you?" And I said, and then I was pulled back into my body. And now this time, by the time I woke up, I looked at the TV, and the whole football stadium was black, dark. There was just announcers going. I must have been gone for, I don't know, because there's no time. But when I awoke and I sat back up, and I was like, what the hell does ancient mean? I mean, I know we're old. I mean, we're older than the universe because we created the universe. But that's when I went on to a really deep research mode. And I'll get to your question in a minute, bud. And that's when I found out that I was a chosen one, not to be misconstrued with what God considers the chosen people, which is complete trash and garbage. To pick some of us as just the best, it's insane and stupid and wrong. But what I meant by the chosen one, thank you, brother, by the chosen one is that while most of you that are here, almost all of you, except for there are other chosen ones out there, I'm handpicked by God. He comes to me for a specific mission, kind of like Jesus, but nowhere near the level of what he did, to go through what I've, you know, to help humanity, basically. So I met an NDE researcher who's done like 15,000 interviews with near-death experience. David Succi, I do believe his name was, and he raised his hand because I was in a meeting, and he said, the reason you were called ancient, he says, because, as I said, God has chosen you for these very hard missions. He said, but you've been walking this earth for 20 to 30,000 years, helping humanity rise. And it felt right. Something inside just clicked. There are other chosen ones. You may see videos on chosen ones, so I would encourage you to watch that. But that is why I've died over 3,200 times. I've heard people say, well, near-death experiences, I've been doing this, this is my 1,200th time. And that's absolutely true, without question or doubt. But what he meant by ancient is that I have been doing this for 20 to 30,000 years. And I was just, wow. So, hello, Jason. I remember if you've covered this before, but does Trump's reelection serve any spiritual purpose? Yes. Trump needed to win the election. Absolutely. Had to. And as you can see, no violence took place. Okay. So as many of you have been disappointed. Now, I don't vote anymore. I don't feed the wolf anymore, so to speak. We need to change the system that we created, and to keep feeding the wolf keeps us living in low vibration. But yes, he needed to win the election without doubt. Now, we all need to rise in love. We need to raise our energy. We need to fight for one another and love one another. Any idea how he'd be viewed by the perspective of the divine? He needed to win. I mean, that's what divine needed to see. He needed to win. Okay. Yeah, he's going to raise all our taxes and stuff like that. But remember who controls the power. We do. And we can limit, all of that. But all of you live in fear. I mean, if I told all of you that we could easily fix this problem, and you'd be, okay. And if I said all of us needed to quit our jobs, quit paying taxes, and quit feeding the system, you would all freak out, because you're instantly, well, what about my house? What about my car? How am I going to eat? Right? So it wouldn't even get to that, because, if you got to remember, if 80% of America just simply shut down and quit going to work for a month, you would have Washington, D.C. bent over the barrel at your command. All right. So, I mean, we have to fix this. And you don't have to storm the White House. You don't have to storm anything with guns and this and that. You just simply have to stay home and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Right? We need a system that is an egalitarian society of love for one another and every single human being on this planet. We need to be one. And that is the simplest way to do it. We'd have to force their hands. But yes, Trump needed to win. And as you saw, no violence, no bloodshed, no nothing. We're on the right path. Jesus is not going to return. Okay? I mean, get rid of the Bible. Get rid of it. Jesus doesn't need to return. He did his job 2 millennia ago. We murdered him for showing nothing but love. Jesus is not coming back. He has no need to come back. We're all saved. Remember, we're all God's. There is no need to have him come back. All right? When you transition home and take your last breath, however you do that, through a car accident, going to bed and not waking up, drowning in the bathtub, whatever it is, right? You instantly go home. There is no laying in the dirt for, Jesus to come. You go home instantly, period. So that's just the way it is, bud. There is no return. There is no book of Revelations, period. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, look what happened when Trump told people to do what he did. All right. If Trump wouldn't have won, that would have been it. There would have been violence and bloodshed. Absolutely. And as you saw, smooth as a clam. So he needed to win. Absolutely. I talked about this before earlier on. We are sharing the love. Absolutely. No. We simply exist. Just imagine a volleyball, okay? Just a plain white volleyball. That's how we exist, except you know the chakra colors, blue, red, right? Green. We have an orange. We have a system of colors within us. But that's it. We're just simply an orb of energy. We can take on any form that we want, but we simply exist as consciousness. And consciousness has no form. The only reason we're in this, we look like a human, because what part of us is in here is controlling the vehicle. Like when you get in your car to go to the grocery store, right? You assume the identity of, I'm in a Jeep Grand Cherokee, right? But you're not. You're in there controlling it. Well, the part of us that is in here, our personality, is controlling the vehicle. I happen to be driving a male vehicle, period. How do you explain to someone that someone who chooses to hurt another being, rape, murder, etc., that there won't be a penalty? There just simply won't. Because you all believe, or those that, like, who just asked me, is the return of Jesus. You all believe in that book. Not all of you, I should say, but a majority of Christians and people around the world believe that there's going to be retribution for your actions. You believe that there is a human God awaiting and watching your every breath, every thought, every movement to condemn you to a place of eternal hell and damnation. That's the church jargon that they filled your head with for millennia now. And it would be like me telling you to believe in Santa Claus. Would you believe in Santa Claus even though mommy and daddy told you that Santa Claus is real, and somehow mysteriously packages just showed up underneath a fake tree in your house? At some point in time, you got to wake up and realize Santa Claus ain't real, right? The tooth fairy isn't real. The boogeyman isn't real. Your thoughts, right? And that is what has been embedded so deeply in you, ingrained through the lies, the manipulation, the deceit by the church, right? So there is no judgment. There is no condemnation. You are a God, all right? You're simply here on this earth for two reasons. Two. One, to rediscover who you are, all right? I did that. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I am. And it's not this, okay? Step one done. Now, the second thing we came here to do is what Jesus showed you, to manipulate energy. What are we? We are energy, right? Jesus did it thoroughly and expertly. He could do the things that he did. We all have that within us. You're absolutely welcome, Susie. I love you too. So many broken. Yes, yes. So you have to ditch that church jargon. Throw that piece of Bible in the garbage. Jesus has a bone to pick with the church. All right. I told him I would pick it up for him. And yes, there have been many people in comments said you're going after the church. Yes, I am. They've lied to us for millennia. They have you so deeply ingrained and embedded that you have absolute fear of going to hell, right? And then they're complicated that by what? People that have had, they call it a hellish NDE. No, it's just a dark NDE, right? If any of you watched my last video, the difference between the light and the dark is the difference between raising your vibration in love to being at the bottom rung, being fearful and scared. If that's the case, like Howard Storm, I can't die. I have a great job. I make good money. I have a good house. All low vibration. You cannot bring this physical world back home. You're going to end up in the void. And what is the void, ladies and gentlemen? I've said this many times too, right? The moment you transition out of your body, you're in another dimension. You're home, like a midway between home, the real home, and, whatnot. So the void is simply pure consciousness. The ego is gone. Fear and guilt are gone, right? So when you're in the void, you're home, right? What you think instantly appears in front of you. And if that is fear, well, then guess what comes to life? The boogeyman, what you guys call demons or bad entities, right? No, they're just your consciousness going haywire because you're scared and you're bringing up all of these evil things. Remember? So, when you wake up in a nightmare and and you wake up and you go, oh my God, and you're like frantic and you're breathing heavy. Well, you just haven't woken up yet. You're having a dream within a dream. Okay. And that's the only difference. I keep telling you guys this. Your thoughts create your reality. How powerful you are. When you look up into the night sky and you see the universe and the Andromeda galaxy, that's us dreaming. That's our power. When you watch that last solar eclipse, you and I are creating that right now. Has nothing to do with God. God does not want us here. He wants us at home. So, any idea how Trump will lead people being more loving and true? Do you think we'll be? It all depends on each individual person when it comes to politics, man. But I'm telling you, regardless of who's in office, you need to love one another. I don't care how grievously you've been wounded by somebody, whether you've been raped, whether your child was murdered. Those are all, in my opinion, horrific things to experience. And I thank God I've never had to experience that. I've had to bury a son, yes, but you need to love and forgive, like Jesus said in the Bible. And here I go repeating that crap. But 7 is a number of completion, and I've been seeing a lot of the triple digits, 777, and quadruple sevens, right? So 7 times 77, or 777, is forgiveness multiplied by infinity. Okay, you have to consistently forgive, like we are all forgiven. Not one person listening to me tonight is an angel. We have all done and said unspeakable things to one another or somebody else. And that's a fact. All right? So we need to love unconditionally, no matter how badly you've been hurt. And this is so hard to do. Okay? I sat here for a month crying every night uncontrollably, having to relive my childhood and forgive unconditionally. Okay? So whether who's in office doesn't matter. Trump needed to be there in order for us to continue to raise or go into the fifth dimension. But he needed to win. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm done talking politics. I don't talk politics. So Trump is the catalyst for change. Yes. So we needed that to happen. So, and there it is. See, those are you that saw the 4 sevens or the 7. That's your angels and guides saying you are on the right path. Wherever you are in your thoughts and whatever you're trying to manifest, you're on the right track. So don't give up. Don't give up. Jason, my dad was saying some nasty things about Trump. I got him to stop by the dude. Well, sometimes you just have to say, you know what? I forgive you, Dad, but I don't want to hear it anymore. And, I'm just going to go if you keep going, but you got to forgive them. So 2, 3, 3, 3s. Yeah. I mean, I can show you look at this. This was yesterday. All the repeating numbers. I write them down in the time. And today I have another full sheet. So that's your angels and guides are saying, look, man, you are there. You're on the right path. You are doing what you need to do. Don't give up. Don't stop. Right? Of course. You got to remember who you are. You're a God, right? Everything that Jesus did, right? He taught, and that's why he was put to death. He wasn't allowed to teach what he was teaching, okay? And he taught you that everything that I am doing, he's like, look, people, you're no different than I am. This is how you do it, all right? Everything we have is smack dab in the center of us, okay? And I've manipulated my energy once very efficiently to take away some body pain. And I've talked about this before, the ring that came down my back and I commanded it, it did what it wanted. We all have that power. You are no different than the being you know as Jesus Christ. The only difference, and this is the best way I can describe it, the difference between you and Jesus, okay? So if you look at a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old, right? Okay, how cute and all that. And then you look at somebody graduating, a girl graduating college. Those two are no different, right? You got the toddler and then you got the college student. She's graduating. The college student is just further along in her journey than the toddler. That's it. They're no different. They're just further apart. She's up the ladder from the toddler, right? They're the same, but she's further along in her journey. That's why Jesus was picked. He was further along and he knew the game, right? And that's why Father tracked him down in a different dimension and all that. And that's why he was chosen. Other than that, no different. None. Just don't use your, just stop. There is no evil. You are labeling a certain situation that you see as evil. To say that there's evil says that you don't know who God is. God did not create right and wrong, good or bad, evil, right? God is love. God is light, period. And for you to believe in evil, well, evil and cruelty are simply a gift humanity gave itself, nothing else, all right? That's it. Evil does not exist. Quit labeling a situation you don't like as right or wrong, good or bad, or as evil. You don't have the right, like somebody telling you right now how you were born into your family. All right. It'd be like somebody judging you for being born into your family. Okay. So how somebody exits this world, now you've all created an exit plan, guys. You were born into and you will exit out of this world. So you don't get to judge another being on how they decide to leave, whether they walked out of their house at the age of 17 and a random bullet shot them in the head. Maybe that's what they needed to experience, maybe because they wanted to know what it was like. You don't get to choose that, let alone judge that situation. That's how they chose to leave this physical world. And that was a big thing that I had to learn, right? Was that I don't get to judge that. That's their life. That's how they chose to leave. End of subject. We're all going to leave this world differently. And none of us can judge that. So if somebody wants to experience being a warrior, well, there are warriors out there right now fighting 2 useless wars as far as I'm concerned, right? I don't get to judge that. That's not for me to judge. Do I like it? No. I pray to God every day in my prayers, in the morning and at night, to please stop this. We have to love one another. That's correct. You need, Catherine, we need to love ourselves first. Remember what I said. You come first, period. You came here into this physical world, in this physical realm, to work on you and you only, not your children, not your parents, not your husband or spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, period. You need to love yourself before you can spread that love to your children, to your spouse, to your family members. You come first. And that is what Jesus was teaching too. You come first. Love yourself as your neighbor, right? Love yourself. I'm beyond certain. It's just a fact. There's no doubt, none at all. And that is part of when you try and manifest something that, say, I want $1 million, right? You have to believe that that $1 million is already there. I know who I am. I rediscovered myself through my own death. I know exactly what I am. There is no doubt, none. And the information that keeps coming and all that I learned in my own death, it's not a belief, it's just a fact. And I don't mean to sound conceited, but that's just the way it is, you know. Alex, You must balance good with evil. There is no good or evil. You have to get the full human experience, you're going to go through with what you planned to do, right? Don't label it as challenging or label as not so challenging, right? You're going to go through some things in your life that are brutally difficult, brutally hard. Don't label it, look at it. What did you learn from it? And then move on. But don't label it as good, bad, or evil. Again, that goes back to me telling, or you telling me you don't believe in God. God does not create evil, right? Again, evil and cruelty is a gift humanity gave itself, nothing more. So that is correct. God is experiencing duality through us. He is experiencing everything that everybody is going through on this planet right now. So we're experiencing our life. Well, right now, he is experiencing over 8 billion things simultaneously. And he sees you, he hears you, and he feels you. Don't think you're ever alone, that you cannot talk to your Father. He hears you, but he is also experiencing everything you're going through. So if anybody that was raped or beaten, he experienced that feeling too. But he's not judging. He's not labeling it. You know, you have not experienced something. I'm not saying that if I have experienced, that if I haven't seen it, it does not exist. Of course not. Just because I haven't been shot doesn't mean I don't know what is, that being shot is like. If I were to be shot or stabbed, I'm not going to label that anymore. I will just say, well, that was something I needed to experience. I'm going to forgive that person, and then I'm going to move on. But I'm not going to label it. Jesus, a geometry drawing? No, I don't think so. Oh, Alex, I love you too. Love you, love you, love you. It's all about the love. On the other side, what is the environment like? You said we are orbs. Just imagine the most beautiful place here. Say, take Hawaii, and you look at Hawaii in the jungle, or what in the forest and in the tree. Just imagine the most beautiful, serene place. Heaven is here. Heaven is on earth. You choose not to see it because you choose to believe that what you're actually seeing out in front of you is real. Those are your thoughts. So it's just the most beautiful and serene experience that you can have. To put those experiences into words is very difficult because they don't exist here. So, Chris, I have been raped, almost killed. What Jason teaches has. Maria, I'm so sorry that you had to experience that. I'm very sorry. And I love you to death. I thank you for sharing that. That's being vulnerable. And to me, that's absolutely beautiful. And yes, you have to forgive that person. You have to. It's going to be the hardest thing you ever have to do. Truly forgive. You will break down in tears. You will crumble into a ball. But as Jesus said, 7 times 77 is forgiveness unlimited. There is no stopping at any certain point in time just because you feel like you've run out of excuses to forgive. No. God has talked to me. Yes. Go watch my first video. I've got like 40 videos out, Chris. All right. Go to my channel. Go down, scroll down to the very first, and you'll hear my near-death experience. And in that near-death experience, when I was mad at God, I was yelling at him. I was like, you can't do this. You picked the wrong person. Jesus is not the only Son of God. And if you really believe that, then you're really lost. Okay? He was a very powerful son of God. Make no mistake about that. None. Very powerful. And he used that power through love to help heal everyone, to talk to everyone, to love everyone. But to say that he is the only son of God is going back into the religious propaganda that has been embedded so deeply within you. Did you experience any activities? No, I remained in the hospital. I was engulfed in the light and the love and everything that I saw, the colors, I saw every soul that there was to see, the grass, the trees, everything. I could see everybody in the hospital dying on the machines, all the nurses stations. I had 360-degree view instantly. You know, I mean, the wall disappeared, so I could see everything out. Well, I could see through the wall because it wasn't real, but I saw everything out there. It's like I said, in that moment, you get rid of the three things that you initiated when you decided to come here: fear, guilt, and the ego. All of those disappeared. I was in instant peace, a peace that I have never experienced in this life, ever. It was gone. There was no more ego, no more fear. It was just instant peace and a love that just does not exist here. So, I've lost a lot of hope in finding my, forever since I've been in a relationship. Most lonely time in my life for the past several years. We don't all have a twin flame. We all don't. Most of us have soulmates, many soulmates, but I understood who she was after my death, when knowledge and information came my way, when I realized that my twin flame, you have to understand what the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate is. A soulmate is like your best friend, right? A bestie. So if any of you have besties, then you'll know what this is. You can trust that person. You can confide in that person, right? And a soulmate will, come in and throw a grenade into your house and blow out your windows, your doors, and stuff like that, right? And fundamentally change the way you think. And that can be through a husband, a wife, just one of your best friends, so on and so forth. They really fundamentally change the way you think. A twin flame, okay, is different. It's literally the other half of my consciousness. So even though she's 8 miles down the road over here, right, in a female body, that really is me. She's my mirror. She is my divine feminine. So when we met, and she said this, and I didn't understand it at the time, she goes, "We're so interconnected, it's not even funny." Well, that makes sense, because she found her divine masculine, right? The left side of her brain. I found the divine feminine. And that is why it was so wonderful and so pure and beautiful, because I literally found the other half of my consciousness here on earth. And that is why a twin flame is so special. And there are not many twin flames out there. There are others that have found them and are with them, but that's what that feeling is like. So again, it was like feeling home. I was so comfortable with her. It was like me. I have found me in her. So speed through true type. I got more than I wanted. Okay. Your view on the afterlife reminds me of, don't know, I haven't read that, so I don't know, but I'll take that as a compliment. So thank you. And I had a spiritual, not a really big one, spiritual, a couple weeks ago. I had lost this case. It was the case to my glasses, right? It was just a glass case. It was sitting here on the couch. I went up to go do to do the dishes 2 weeks ago. And when I came back and I went to put my glasses in the case after I got done meditating to go to bed, it was gone. I mean, I checked the couch, I checked the floors, it was gone for a week, right? So 2 weeks ago, Saturday night, I was gaming, just taking my time off, having some fun, just doing my thing. And I went and did the dishes again, right? And I still hadn't found the case. I came back about 10 minutes later from doing the dishes, cleaning up the kitchen. This was sitting on my keyboard. So when I sat down, put my headphones back on, I looked down, this was sitting on my keyboard. The last place it was right over here. So you see, the non-physical speaks to me all the time. I mean, it is consistent that they're letting me know I'm here. We're listening to you. Things are happening. Stay the course. So, I mean, granted, it wasn't a big, meeting with Archangel Michael again, but it was still them letting me know I'm right here with you. I got you. And they stole it for a week and then gave it back. So, all right, guys, what other questions you got? Thanks for showing up tonight, guys. Thanks for showing the support and love. I love you guys. I do. I'm probably going to do another video on the topic that I just started the video with, on why I've died 3,200 times, because some people get freaked out by that. Like, wow, this guy's clearly missing it. And that's not the case. So, yes, the other side is home. It's where we come from. It's where we originate from. We cannot be in this realm. We cannot be in this low density vibration without these suits. Like an astronaut going into space, they put on a suit. In order for us to come here, to be born into this physical realm, we got to put on a suit. So, but when we're home, we are in our natural element, a high vibrational place, and that's how we exist. We simply exist as pure consciousness. How many here have seen the movie The Shack? One of my favorite movies. I will watch it all the time if I'm going to watch a movie. Any of you guys here seen the movie The Shack? No. Do our guides care? No. Just simply say, I'm calling on my guides. I'm calling on my archangels. I am open to receive. I need your help and guidance, and they will come flooding to you. I can't watch that. That sounded horrible. Oh, The Shack is one of the most beautiful movies ever. It from the time I started watching it, I was in tears. It was such a beautiful movie. I would encourage all of you to watch it. It will answer a lot of your questions that I'm talking about here. I watched that movie 5 years between my own death, and when I went back to rewatch it, I was like, wow, wow. And of course, every time I watch it, I'm crying because it's so beautiful. Yes, it is great. So you remember that? Was it Gary? Let me see if I can't see him. I need my glasses, guys. Gary, yeah. So remember in the field when God, Jesus, and the other half of Jesus, who he kind of like his twin flame, the Asian woman, when he's like, what are we here for? And then she came up to him, the Asian woman says, I want you to see what we see. Right? So she rubbed his eyes like this. And then when he opened his eyes, he saw a field of orbs, of just blobs of energy, all different beautiful colors. And if you watch that scene, that is exactly how we exist. And then the closer he walked into that field, another blob came to him. And then his dad materialized out of that energy. Right? So I would encourage all of you to go watch that movie. It's called The Shack. It's on YouTube free movies. It's beautiful. It will answer a lot of your questions, or you can relate to what I'm speaking to you in that movie. Okay, I will embrace that movie. Please watch. I mean, it starts out with a bad experience. Okay, you have to get through that because he was stuck, right? And you just have to watch it, because I'm not going to put anything out there. You'll understand it when you watch the whole movie. Okay? You have to watch the whole movie, and you'll understand what I went through, what this person went through. So The Shack, everybody, watch it. When you're done here, go to YouTube Movies, watch it. It's free. That, I believe. What else? Yes, embrace that movie. It's a beautiful movie, truly beautiful. And that movie, or that what took place in that movie, like me, profoundly changed his life. It brought him back on track. So you kind of get where I'm going with it. So all right, guys, what you got? Journey of Souls. I'm gonna have to look into that. Journey of Souls. I'm gonna write that down. Write that down. He said that well, generally what your colors that you see, a lot of people have seen my aura, like 2 or 3, and a lot of them said they see blue, green, and magenta that really stand out, that are really thriving. And green is the heart chakra, right? So my aura is filled with green. Blue is like your third eye, right, which is right up here. And then the magenta, I think it's a little lower. I'm not that keen on the chakras, but basically those are the 3 that they see the most of, meaning my third eye, spiritual, my growth is through the roof. My love is through the roof. So, and if you've seen The Shack, then you'll know that you'll see all of those colors, right? So God does not see your body. I mean, he does, and it's a slap in the face, but God sees what he created. He sees you, who you truly are, right? Your aura, your colors, your energy is what he sees. And then in the reference to the question I just asked. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. Thanks for putting that out there. I will definitely take a look into that for sure. And remember, guys, all of you here listening tonight, or anybody that listens to this later, you're here for a reason. Okay? God chose you. When you came before God, right, during this very difficult time, during this transition, okay, means one very important thing. He believes in you, that you have the experience, that you've been here before, you've gone through some things, and he trusts you implicitly to get your job done. So if somebody stood beside you here and somebody stood beside you here, all with their contracts, God looking at them, he chose you. Okay? Why? You have the most experience to get your job. The other 2 are not allowed to come. They can go anywhere and incarnate anywhere else. They cannot come here. They cannot. Only you. And only you can accomplish what you came here to do. Nobody else can. Only you. I can't accomplish anything you guys came here to do. It's out of my reach. Only you guys can do it. So think of that. We're the elite of home, right? So when we come home, when you've heard this before, all of heaven erupts at our arrival. They're flabbergasted. And like, how can you, some souls will not ever incarnate here. They don't understand why we put ourselves through this abuse, how we can suffer the way we do, right? They're just floored. at that. And others desperately want to come, and Father is saying, no, no, nope, nope. Not until this transition into the 5D, fully transitions into the 5D, can they come into the new era, the golden age. And those that don't ascend, that don't want to raise their vibration, that don't want that, they will remain here in the old earth until everybody is gone, until they have all died and transitioned home. Then this earth, the old earth, will vanish, and the golden age, the new earth that's in the fifth dimension, that has risen far above this, is where those souls will incarnate, and we can all incarnate later into, but we cannot go into it from where we are now. We're not allowed, because of the abuse and the indoctrination from the church and from our society and stuff like that. So those that don't want to listen, that are stuck in the Bible, that are stuck in the old truths that, that have been around for millennia, then, they're going to suffer the consequences. They're going to stay here. And then when they incarnate again, they won't go into the fifth dimension. They will go into another planet that Father deems or chooses for a low dimension free will planet. They'll have no recollection of Earth that we've been on. All right. So they'll go in there until they finally get it and they ascend. And after that life, then they can go into the new Earth. But until then, and that's what I'm trying to teach you guys, is like, you got to raise your vibration. You got to ditch all that crap. What I'm teaching you isn't new age. Okay. This is millennia old. This is what Jesus was teaching 2 millennia ago, guys. That's what got him killed. He wasn't allowed to teach what he was teaching. He broke the law. He was executed as a common criminal. Like me going around and killing, being a serial killer, I'm going to be put to death. I would be killed as a common criminal. He broke religious law. He wasn't allowed to teach what I'm teaching. He knew this. He knew he was going to be put to death 2 years before he was crucified. So this isn't new age. It's just new to you because you don't want to listen to it. Right? You don't want to believe in it. And that's what's going to keep you stuck in the third dimension. You don't want to ascend. You don't want to believe. You don't want to raise your vibration. You get it? Let's see. I'm going to read it. You get it. And made some people with a thicker firewall than others, protecting them. Yep. So, and this isn't new age, guys. This is old stuff, but it needs to be taught. And I'm, in a way, the only one that is really teaching this stuff, like your sexual energy, right? You all have sexual energy. It cannot be squashed, squandered, or held down or oppressed. Any of you guys in a relationship right now, male and female or same sex, it doesn't matter. Somebody answer. Any of you guys in a relationship? A physical, intimate relationship. All right, I'll say it. I'm not, but I'm going to go with one of my older relationships. All right. So say I'm working a lot of hours, right? Say I'm working 60 to 70 hours a week, right? Wife or girlfriend is home and she's only maybe working 30 to 35 hours a week, right? So you're doing extra long hours, trying to make ends meet. I'll say Susie's in a relationship, then she'll understand this. Okay, so you're putting in all these hours, right? Now, this is your sexual energy. All of you in here, you masturbate. That's beautiful. It's healthy. Just don't watch porn. Porn is condemned. That's another topic for another time. I've already discussed it. But making love to yourself is absolutely beautiful. Love it. So you're in a relationship, right? And you're working all these hours. You're tired. You come home. You're kind of grumpy or whatever. Eat bed. Now your spouse wants to, what? She wants to be intimate. She misses you. She loves you. She's been thinking of you, right? And you say, I'm not in the mood. No, I'm not in the mood. No, I'm not in the mood, right? Then eventually, after a certain amount of time, what's going to happen? She's going to come up to you and be blatantly rude and pissed off. Who are you fucking? Right? Who are you seeing? Right? You haven't touched me. You haven't made love to me. You haven't acknowledged me. Right? Who are you with? Because it's not me. Right? So just like that, remember, energy cannot be destroyed. So now you went from a very loving and intimate relationship into hostilities, right? Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred. So now the insecurities, the mistrust, the negative energy is all coming out, and it's going to come out in a fight. It's going to come out in a nasty, hurtful argument out of fear, right? It cannot be destroyed. Your sexual energy is divine. It's beautiful. It's pure. It's a way to reach home. But it can also lead you into a fight through insecurities. Why? You don't love yourself enough to believe, well, my husband is doing all of this for me. I know he's tired. I just have to be patient, right? But that's sexual energy, all right? Energy cannot be destroyed. We cannot ever be destroyed. We are eternal. We are older than the universe, which is now what, 13 billion years old? Think about that. That's older than us. So we're trillions and trillions of years old. We're just energy. But that's the point of what I'm trying to say, is that you're just simply energy. And your sexual desires, your sexual needs are pure, they're beautiful, and they come from Father. Jesus taught this as well. He was a master in the tantric arts. Let's see, sex fixes everything. Mood, headaches, hunger. Absolutely. The endorphins released through the body are magical. That's what they're there for. They're healing. They're beautiful. We are meant to love and be loved. We're meant to make love. God does not recognize your trash ass piece of paper that's saying you've been bound for eternity to one person. It's ludicrous. He doesn't hold you to that ever. So don't think that this magical piece of paper, because you decided to lock yourself into this stupid physical 3D world through a piece of paper, God is not holding you to that at all. It means nothing to him. I'm letting you know that now. It means nothing. So we are meant to love and be loved. We were meant to make love, to love one another, like Jesus said. It just isn't in, oh, I love my kids, I love you, oh, you know, I love you too. No, we were meant to love one another. Intimacy does not matter whether it's same sex or heterosexual sex. It does not matter. Love is everything. Therefore, it is the love of your life. So again, everybody has the wrong definition of love, right? If you love gardening, then that is the love of your life. Therefore, it is a loving relationship, right? If you love listening to music like I do, therefore, it is the love of my life, and therefore a loving relationship. Everything is love here, ladies and gentlemen, not just between two people or your children. It's everything. If you love going for walks, that is a loving relationship, and therefore the love of your life. Jesus mastered love. He loved everything, everything. Teaching, talking to you, healing you, being around you, having and telling stories and jokes. He loved it. It was the love of his life. He mastered love, which is what we're trying to do. And it's hard. Don't think for 1 minute that he wasn't spit on, rocks thrown at him. Didn't matter. He loved you unconditionally. I couldn't, even with my experience and all the things that keep coming to me, I could not do his job. There's no way, none. I am totally inadequate for that job. I wouldn't be able to do it. And when I think of it that way, I am in awe at what he managed to do in his life. His last physical life is simply beyond mere comprehension for any of us to comprehend what he did and how he did it and how he loved unconditionally. I couldn't do it. And there are times it just makes me cry. I'll sit here in meditation and I'll cry. I can't do it. I'm going to get emotional now. So, thoughts on gender divide in youth. Data on election shows Just because you're in a male or female vehicle, identify how you want. This is your life. Remember, I don't get to choose that to judge you. Now, if somebody wants a male and wants to be transgender and put on panties and garter belt and stockings, and because he feels very much in touch with his feminine side, good for him. Beautiful. I don't get to judge that, whether they want to be a transgender. Good for them. It's their life. They came here to live it how they chose to. I have no judgment on that. I cannot call or make a decision on that. I'm in awe of their vulnerability and their way of expressing themselves. I think it's beautiful. Now, as far as going into sports and, if I had a teen daughter in high school, say, 14 or 15, and now she's got to go in the shower, no, that's not going to fly. I'm not going to allow that to happen. That's where I would draw the line. I'm not going to call that person right or wrong or good or bad, but, my daughter's not going to take off her clothes in front of a man, at that age. I'm sorry. That's for her in her own private time. So I don't care what gender they want to be. Karma is simply, I do believe in karma, but you all have karma the wrong way. Wow, I've got 3 minutes left. Good question. We'll end it on this. Remember, I'm not talking political, guys. We're done with the politics. I'm not going to talk politics. This not going to, yeah, we're not going to go there. To answer your question quick, we need to love one another equally, both males and females, period. Doesn't matter political, doesn't matter where you reside in the world, period. We need to come together as an egalitarian society and love unconditionally. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Now, karma is simply, you all have karma, and I hear this a lot, your karma experiences, you're making up for what you did in the past life, has nothing to do with that. Okay? Karma, right now, all 18 of us, me and the 17 or 18 of you, right? This is our karma. It is simply the act of doing. Right? It's simply the act of doing. And right now, this is our karma. We're sitting here and enjoying a beautiful conversation about, oneness with Father, us being gods, us living, each a different life experience while here in the physical realm. Karma is simply the act of doing. So if you're robbing a bank, that's your karma. If you're making love to your spouse or your friend or whatever, that's your karma. It's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with previous lives or, you were being a horrible person, so now you got to make up for it. No, it's simply the act of doing. And right now, this is our karma. Catherine, you're so very welcome. Susie, I love you, honey. All of you, I love you. Thank you for these very intriguing questions. They were very good. I enjoyed all of you immensely tonight. Put your comments, concerns, what you want me to talk about in the next video. I'm going to really do the video for this person that wanted me to talk about why I've died 3,200 times. I think it'd be a good topic where I can really concentrate on it for 20 minutes. Guru, you're very welcome, brother. You're very welcome. Thanks for answering my questions. You're welcome. Absolutely. I love you guys. Like I said, every other week I want to get to you guys. I think it's important that we sit there and have these discussions because all of you have different life experiences. You're going through different things. And I would encourage all of you, and most of you have, I have more than one video. Okay. Start with my near death and go up. I talk about the Bible, same sex, suicide, abortions, the invention of hell. They're all there. And they'll bring those questions, and then, we can discuss these things. I'm glad you guys enjoyed because I enjoy being with you. I was looking forward to it all day at work. I was like, oh, I get to go home and talk to my people. And before you all go, I want to thank you all so very much. When I started this channel, when I was sitting there gaming, when I was going through my ascension process, and my company fired me. I was out unemployed. I was being evicted. I had no food, and I was going through a very difficult time. On top of my ascension symptoms and sickness and all of this, it was a brutal experience a year ago. And I was sitting there gaming, and God said, start your YouTube channel. So I started this with no intentions of it really going anywhere other than me telling you no bullshit. As you see, there's nothing behind me. I speak the truth. It comes from my heart. I love you all. And I want all of you to come home with me. I want you to ascend with me. I want you to come to the new earth with me. So when I started this channel, there was no expectations. Not once have I asked any of you to join my channel, subscribe to my channel, or help me financially. Never, and I never will. That's not what this channel is about. I am grateful for all of your love and support. I am beyond grateful. I am blessed more than you could ever possibly know. I think of you guys every single day and how I can better help you on your spiritual journey. And again, I am deeply honored that I have this following. I never expected it. And I love you all so very much. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope all of you tonight enjoy the rest of your weekend. I love you so very much. Come with your questions, respond to this. And as you know, all know, I'll respond to you as quickly as I can. And I'll see you soon. There is no end of the world, brother. There is none. The world is going to keep on going. The universe is going to keep on going. Jesus is not coming back. He doesn't need to. The moment this body is done, we go home instantly. There is nothing else. Okay? It's the way it goes. I love you all. God bless. I love you, and I will see you soon. Have a blessed weekend, guys.